Simulation class. I have offered for you to come in on Thursday if you have questions because I will be teaching global business Thursday night. I'll be around. And if you want to come in and work and ask me questions while we're doing group stuff in class, I will make that work for you. So I am in BT319. It's upstairs by the business office. So feel free to pop in if you have some time or just want to pick my brain. I'm more than happy to do that. Plenty of tables out in the hallway. I've got one table in the classroom that's wide open as well. So totally up to you on what you would like to do. If more of you come in, you guys could work together too. So the more the merrier, and maybe we can have some fun. With that being said, I'm just going to go over the results so far, where everybody's at. So I'm going to select the balanced scorecard. See how we're doing. So this is going to show all of the teams, and I'll give you random updates on this so that you can kind of see where everybody's at. Everybody's really at a different spot. A couple of people got started a little bit late and are working on it, and a few more are putting in a little bit more time and got up to round 4. It does stop you at round 4 for a little bit until probably the time comes for 5, 6, 7, and 8. So it doesn't let you work all the way till 8 all at one time. So that is why those numbers are there. It's nice to see some good improvement, week over week on how you're doing. And you can see that your available points, the 82 down here, is very different than the 100 when you start having your TQM and HR that starts adding to your balanced scorecard. Okay, and I'll go through the balanced scorecard in a little bit, but this is really the score that I'll be looking at and where you are in relationship to the rest of the team. So this will be pretty important for you to stay on top of, so I will post this each week so you can kind of see where we're currently at. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to log into Carol's because she had a question, and I'm going to go into Super Sensors and I'll kind of go through kind of what she's doing. And I keep playing with her spreadsheet because this is the 4th video I've made, so I apologize for that. I don't think it saves because I'm not saving it, so it should be fine. So a couple of the reports that you should be aware of is, one, the foundation report is right here, the fast track. And so you always want to take a look at low tech and high tech and how you're performing, and this will give you an idea of where she's at. So she finished around 23%, so really high. She sold 1,396 units in the low tech segment. She did stock out, so one of her issues is I keep stocking out and I don't know why, and I don't know how to fix that. It won't let me. Her age for low tech is 1.8, and I think the age criteria is 3, yeah, for low tech. So you don't have to be changing these each round, but it gives you kind of an idea of where you should be at. Her sales budget and her promo budget's at $2,000, which is much greater than everybody else's, which bumps her accessibility and her customer awareness up high. Her December customer survey, which they talked about in one of the videos that helps you with forecasting, is at 26, so it's the highest one. So she's got a really good response rate going into the next round, so she's definitely pretty high. Also, you can look at the total demand for the round, and the segment growth is at 10%. I think that stays pretty consistent each round. Somebody asked the question, how come when I finish a round it doesn't advance right away? It takes a little bit. So you're better off after you finish a round to go take a little walk around, come back, and then open up your foundation fast track. It does take a minute or two to update. It does not update instantaneously. I found anyway that it takes a bit. Now her Able, she has Able also selling in the high-tech category at 12%. So it's not doing terrible on the high-tech category. She did sell out, but she sold 386 here too. So while she's not targeting this group with her metrics, she's still selling to this group. So that's important to keep in mind as well. So she does have everything kind of applying to this and still has a 15 going into next round, which is pretty high from a fast track perspective. Okay, so I wanted to look at that, and you can look at a number of other things on here as well. You can look at your financial statement, your your net profit, your cumulative profit, your SG&A costs. All of that stuff goes into your decisions each round, so definitely take a look at that. The other thing that I want you to look at on the pro formas is your balanced scorecard. Your balance scorecard is going to be helping you determine where you're getting these points. So the points she gets at the end of each round is listed here. So you can tell for projected round 3, she's got her turnover rate and her productivity for the HR piece added into here, but the TQM hasn't started. It starts in round 4. So for round 3, it's still kind of like hanging out there. If you're not sure of what's in each of these, so let me find one. Leverage. Okay, so leverage, I'm going to type in the I. That's the ratio of assets to equity. So when she looks at her assets and her equity, this is where that number is coming from. And she can kind of see what she needs for full credit, no credit, or partial credit in either way. So it doesn't tell her exactly what she is, but she'd have to look at the Foundation Fast Track for that. Days of working capital and stockouts. So she has no inventory carrying costs. It's a 0. So she's getting full credit for this, right? So she has nothing that she's carrying, but she's stacked out, so she got 0 points here. So she doesn't want to stack out. She wants to get all 5 of those points back. So those are the lost sales due to stackouts as a result of percent over sales. And then days of working capital will tell you that it's your current assets minus your current liabilities. So again, having assets is one of those things that she's a little bit low in. Now, customer accessibility, I thought she was doing pretty good with customer accessibility, but look at the ratio. So partial credit is 50 to 90%, and I think she was at 53%, I'm not mistaken. And she's paying $2,000 for customer accessibility, which is really like $2 million. So maybe she might want to look at that, because that's an easy one to up by looking at that. So it's the ease of customers to purchase your products, sales weighted. It's the strength of your distribution channels. So something to consider there. Now, employee productivity and employee turnover. Employee productivity is the improvement of your workforce and efficiency. That's your training hours and your TQM. So right now it's just training hours that go into this, and so you want to add some training time in. And turnover is the percentage of your overworked and underpaid workforce that you lose each year. So you want to make sure that you are hiring talented people and you are also training them. Okay, so then I'll give you a little bit of an interim results here. I'm going to go to the decisions, and I'm just going to futz with a few things here. So Anna is coming out, and I don't know if Anna's also going to be low tech, so I can't really tell here, but let's just say it was supposed to be high tech. So I'm going to move her over from a performance perspective to about 8.5, let's just say. And then I'm going to move her able down to maybe 12. And recalculate that and see what the revision date is. So age at revision, if this is a brand new, like a high tech, that's not too shabby. Otherwise, I might want to bring her down just a little bit on size. Maybe I bring her down to an 11. So what you want to do for high tech, so if you have a high tech, you want to be as close to this black line as possible. If you have a low tech, you want to be somewhere in the middle. That's kind of where you want it to be. So she's probably going to want to change this. I'm going to just change this too. That's getting a little closer. Change that at all. Okay, you can tell this revision date based on the year you're in. So this year is 2021, so February 2022, then she can change this. January 15th on 2021, she'll be able to change this. So gives you a little bit of an idea, and this is your research and design cost and some money that you're spending. So again, you can keep changing this. She could adjust her able to if she wants, but that is, and then you can also see how much more this is going to cost you in making it. So not too much from an able perspective, Anna, a little bit more, but we'll go ahead and just stick with that for right now. Okay, so sales budget drives accessibility. Your promo budget is customer awareness primarily. So accessibility was one thing that we wanted to work on a little bit. So let's see if we can get a little bit more in terms of bandwidth there. Okay, now her benchmark says 1986, and I think basically that looks at what she sold last round, because I want to say she sold, let me just see, she sold 1396, I believe, which was 1400 roughly here, and then she sold 1400, 1740. So 1740 plus 170 would be an estimate, because low tech is a 10% growth, high tech is 20%, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So it'd probably be 1910, maybe 1950 would be that prediction. But she was coming off on a pretty good year, so I'm just going to put 2,000 total. So we have nothing to gauge this by at all, but one of the things that we know is she doesn't have the capacity to produce much yet, so we're going to just put 200 here, because I believe I was in here earlier and I know what she can produce, so that's what we're going to forecast. It's not perfect. Now you can change, so you can change these prices too based on your target. I'm not even looking at that right now. She was sort of in the range here. I'm not sure where she's in there. I didn't look right now. But I'm going to go to production, because this is where she has the question. So one of the things that you want to do is you do want to figure out some training hours, because that was one of the areas that she did not have as much help. So I'm going to recruit a little bit more and put some training hours in. I think that's really important. And then what we're going to go ahead and do is, she's got 14,680 here. Our production schedule, we're going to go ahead and create 200 here. And I am going to go ahead and increase this to 6. And I'm going to recalculate just to see where I'm at to my total, because I can't go over 14. So I have 10,000 left. So I'm really almost at capacity here. So I'm going to go ahead and add, let's say 200 more here. And then I'm going to add, let's try 400. I think this is too many. 14,000. Oh, look at how close I am. Okay, so now next round she'll have 500 first shift capacity, which is 1,000 units that she can make, which will really increase her capacity there. And then she can focus on building automation, because most of the people that I talk to, you really for low tech want to make sure your automation is up to 10. Now I don't know if she's planning on Anna being a high tech or a low tech, so that's totally her decision. I'm not sure where she's at that, but this is pretty close, and this is probably where I would stick. So I keep that. And then under finance, there's a couple of things that you can do. You can either issue some more stocks to get yourself some more cash, or you can issue loan, which is 4,321. So you pick. So if you're, but I wouldn't borrow here. I would issue long-term debt here. If you have any questions, I think that's it. But if you have any questions, let me know. We'll keep working on this, and I'll see you guys next week. Or Thursday night if you stop by.